Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will learn one of the components of MVVM architecture, that is ViewModel. So first, let's understand what is MVVM. So in very simple language, MVVM architecture gives your project a proper organized structure with the help of its three components. First is model, then second is view, and then third is ViewModel. Got it? I'm not going in detail about view and model because today our focus is only on view model. So later in upcoming video, I'll cover them. But to understand view model, we need to know little bit about view and model too. So let me give you a quick overview about them. See, in very simple language, view handles the user interface, basically all the UI components, design, XML and all. And model represents the data. It could be local data such as room or SQLite, or it could be remote data source such as retrofit, API and all. Got it? And then comes the view model. As you already know that view handles UI and model represents data. But now the question is, how will UI and data will communicate with each other? And that's where view model comes into the picture. So view model acts as a bridge between view and model. It is responsible for preparing and managing between data and UI. See, model is responsible for only data and view is responsible only for UI. But view model is responsible for the communication that takes place between them. Communication as in actions that needs to be performed. Like, I'll give you an example. Consider a notes app where notes database is SQLite or maybe room database as data, that is basically a model. And recycler view, list view that displays the note as UI, that is basically a view. And then comes the view model, which basically acts as a mediator between them to send and receive request. Request as in read the data, write the data, update the data or delete the data. This processing can also be done using livedata. I'll cover this topic in the next video, so stay tuned for that. But for now, let's understand view model in detail through an example. So open Android Studio, choose empty views activity, name the project as Learn View Model. Let me give you a quick overview what exactly we are going to create. So we will be creating a counter app, like when the user will click on the button, then the count will increment by 1. It will go like 0, 1, 2, 3, that way. I know it's a very simple app, but our motto is to understand how can we use view model and other two components as well. So let's create it. First, let's do the prerequisite. So go to colors.xml, add color as red, with hex code as FF3131. And then next go to themes.xml, add all the three items, color primary, color primary variant and Android status bar color. And done. Then go to build.gradle. Here we will add view binding. So write build features. Then inside it write view binding is equal to true. And then click on sync now. And done. Now to use view model, we will require view model dependency. So let me copy paste it. And done. Then again click on sync now. And done. You can find the dependency in the description box. Also, let me quickly add background drawable just to make the app look more presentable. You can skip this step, okay? Close all the tabs. Now go to activity main.xml. Here I will create a text view that will display the count and a button that will increment the count. Simple, right? So let me quickly create it. And done. See, this is how it looks. We have a constraint layout as our parent layout. Then inside it, a text view whose ID is text view counter. And then below it, there is a button whose ID is button increment. And that's it. This text view and button are UI components. That is basically a view. Now view is done, and then comes the view model. We will create a separate class for view model, okay? So right click on it and create a new Kotlin class file. I'll write the name as MyViewModel. And done. Now listen to me carefully. First, we will extend the class as ViewModel. Then next, we will create instruction that needs to be performed on the data. But where is data? I mean model. See, as this is a very simple project, so there is no such big database like SQL or room database. Here we have our data as private var counter is equal to 0. This counter variable is a data, or you can say model. Got it? So we have view as well as model, and now it's time to connect both of them via ViewModel class. As I previously said that ViewModel send and receive the request such as create, read, update or delete data. So here we will perform two requests. First is to read the data and second is to update the data. Data as in counter value. Like read counter will fetch the count and display it, and update counter will increment the count. Got it? Let's implement it. First, create a function for read. So fun get initial counter. It will return the initial value of counter, that is 0. So as the return value data type is integer, so I'll write here as int, and then inside it return counter, that is 0 itself. Simple, right? Next, as we want to update the count, so I'll create an update counter function. So I'll write fun get updated counter. Again it will return an integer, so I'll write here as int, and then inside it, it will return incremented counter. Now beginners might have confusion with plus plus counter. Why is it not counter plus plus? See, if it will be counter plus plus, then in that case initial value is 0, and when you click on increment button, then the next value is also 0, and then again you click on it, then next value will be 1 and so on. But if it will be plus plus counter, then in that case initial value is 0, and when you click on increment button, then next value will be 1, and then again you click on it, then next value will be 2 and so on. Getting my point? So in counter plus plus, it consider itself first and then increment the next value, while in plus plus counter, it directly increment the next value. Got it? Now view, model and view model, everything is ready. Let's connect all of them in main activity. First, let me quickly set up binding. And done. Next, we need to access MyViewModel function. So for that, we need to call the MyViewModel class. So let me quickly declare it. And done. Now I need to initialize my ViewModel. So I'll write ViewModelProvider. See, ViewModelProvider is a utility class provided by ViewModel library that helps you to create and retrieve instances of ViewModel classes. For us, it's our MyViewModel class. So first I'll write this as owner, this as in main activity itself. Then using get method, I'll retrieve the MyViewModel class. Then next we need to set initial value on our text view. Initial value is basically 0 only. But if you remember, we have created a getInitialCounter function in MyViewModel class, right? Then MyViewModel.getInitialCounter function dot toString, because as you remember, function was written in integer. So to display it on text view, we need to convert it to string. Got it? So initial value is set as 0. Now set onClickListener on button increment. And then inside it, on the same text view counter, it will display the updated counter value. So I'll write MyViewModel dot get updated counter dot toString. And that's it. Now let's run the app. See, it's initially 0. Now I'll click on increment button. And look, the count goes like 1, 2, 3 and so on. Perfect. But if you are new to these topics, you will be wondering why there is a need to do all of these things. Like, why can't we declare counter 0 here itself and increment it directly? Why to make such chaos, right? Let me clear your doubt. See, first thing, that view model makes everything structured. Like model, view model, everything is separated and organized. If you would have created everything in same activity, then that would have been more chaotic, right? And second, the very important reason is that view model can handle system configuration changes very well. System configuration as in screen rotations. Like, I'll show you an example. This is duplicate counter app project, but without using view model. Everything is in same activity, and now see, it works exactly same. But here comes the twist. I'll increment the count. And if I rotate the screen, then look, the count went back to 0. Again, I'll increment it. And then rotate the screen. See, again the count went back to 0. It's like every time you rotate your phone, the activity will start from the beginning. That will be annoying, right? Hence, view model is used to overcome this issue. This is our counter app project using view model. Here I'll increment it. And then rotate it. And see, even after the screen rotation, the counter value remains as it is. Now, I'll increment it. And again, I'll rotate it. And see, again the value is as it is. Got my point? And that's it. You can follow us on Instagram or join a Telegram group for more updates. Link in the description box. So yeah, that is it for the video. If you are new to this channel, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video.